So pretty much, this is, you know, my weekend, and I want to make sure I drop a video every Sunday. That's my goal, to be a consistent creator on YouTube and to be a Christian channel. Now, I'm driving, and I'm one of them real Christians. I'm gonna tell you straight up, I cuss. So let's hope nobody makes me road rage while I'm coming back from Atlanta. Headed to Covington to go pick up my kids. I went to go do my nails at Nouvelle Salon, and I just love that salon. Yes, they charge a lot of money. You could. They charge a lot of money, but it's worth it because they know what they're doing. Like, I'm so satisfied. It came out so cute to me. This is what I wanted. It looks very queen, princess-y themed. I'm feeling it. It's better than my basic. And look at the little thumb with the gold. I'm obsessed with gold. So anyways, I'm going to be sharing my testimony. Hopefully this video can come out good without any edits, and I can speak straight through without saying a million times. Pretty much my testimony of how I came to Christ. I was very young when I got saved, which is unusual. I wish it was self-motivated, but it was more so like God just came down and just grabbed me. He snatched me from where I was going. I was definitely headed down the wrong path. I don't know why, but when I was 14, I just wanted to be a super rebellious kid. I was just hurting, I guess. You know, from issues with my mom, issues with my dad, issues with my family, my sister. I had issues with everybody. So I just wanted to be a kid that was rebellious. Like, I was skipping school. I had just started to steal. I do remember me and my friends just had started shoplifting. We was tired. We was tired of not having, so we wanted to start stealing. So we had just started doing that, and I was watching scary movies, typical kid, and it sounds weird, but in this particular movie, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, I don't know if anybody's seen it. I still remember this like it was yesterday. I was living in Capri Gardens in North Miami on 2nd Avenue. I was raised there for a majority of my life. I went to get this movie that everything was blocking me from seeing this movie. When it came out in theaters, I had a bunch of my friends that we were supposed to go see it with, and nobody went to go see it. Like, we were like, every time we tried to link up to do it, it didn't work. Like, we ended up doing something else, or we didn't have the money, or something happened and we couldn't go see it. When it finally came out at Blockbuster, I went to Blockbuster to go look for it, and somebody had already pulled it out. I was so desperate to see this movie. I don't know why, because I was looking for thrills at that point, and I love thrilling things. So I was like, let me go buy this movie. So I begged for the money to go buy the movie. My mom gave it to me. She was being nice. She gave me the money to buy the movie. And when I finally went to go see it, there was a part where the priest is exorcising Emily Rose and asks, what's the name of the demon? He's trying to get the demon to speak. And when the demon speaks, instead of saying one name, it said multiple names. And the last name that was said was Satan. And when I heard that, something in my body shook. Something in my body just felt a shift. Like, I felt like it was deep in my gut. I felt like something wasn't right. So I paused the movie because I thought, maybe I'm just scared. Maybe the movie scared the crap out of me. And I went to my kitchen. I still remember going and eating something and saying, I'm not going to be a chicken. I'm going to eat this. I'm not going to be a scary cat or whatever. I'm going to watch this movie. I'm going to tell my friends that I seen it, because I think they was probably just too scared to see it, because they didn't go see it. Everything, they tried to, distract us from seeing it. So I decided I'm going to go finish watching this movie, even though it scared the crap out of me. My family's home. My stepdad and my mom is in their room. They chilling. My sister said she not watching that movie with me. She went to go watch her Disney Channel in the room. So I went back, finished watching the movie, and by the time I was done, everybody was sleeping. I went to bed that night, and that's when it was the first time that I heard a voice that wasn't my voice, and it was so loud and clear. And the voice said, "Now you know that we're real." And I said, I didn't know what that was. I thought it was a prank, so I looked out the window to see if one of my friends or my neighbors who come by my house and throw rocks at my window, if they were trying to play a prank with me, standing by my window or something, because it's a really big window. And it wasn't that. I was like, so nobody trying to play a prank on me? Like, who is that? Like, what voice is that? I didn't recognize the voice. And then the voice, I turned on the light, and I was like, yo, I'm sleeping with the lights on because this is creepy. Now I'm scared. And the voice said the light won't save me. And then I said, oh my God, like, either I'm losing my mind or this movie scared me so bad that I'm thinking so hard that this is what I'm thinking is happening. I'm imagining this happening. So I couldn't sleep that night. Like, I remember feeling so tense and sweating in my bed, and my sister's like knocked out, sleeping real peaceful. And it was the beginning of me being tormented for a series of at least 3 months. It was about 3 months of me going through hearing these voices. They would tell me people's business when I go to school. I would see dark clouds. I would see figures moving around. I would see demons on people's faces. So I felt like I was going crazy. Like, I couldn't tell anybody what I was going through because I felt like they would put me on pills. I felt like I was losing my mind, that something wasn't right. And I didn't want to end up in somebody's psych ward and stuck, and being in a mental hospital or something like that. So I didn't tell anybody. I was just suffering, couldn't sleep. I remember one night I was laying in my bed. I was like, okay, let me listen to Mariah Carey, because I tried to listen to uplifting things. Like, I was like, I don't want to feel this anymore. My friends, I was distant from them. They realized I was drawing away from them. Like, I stopped going to their house. I started staying home more. I know they realized it, but they didn't. We were kids at that time. It's not like, oh girl, I see you not coming to my house no more. It's not that kind of thing. It was just like, oh, I'm distant from faith. And it's just something that happens when you're young. You grow distant from your friends and you make new friends. But I didn't make no new friends. I was losing my mind. I felt like I was going crazy. I couldn't tell nobody what was going on. And I ended up just staying home, being a homebody at that time, because I felt scared. When I was walking, I hear voices while I'm walking down the street. I'm looking back like a crazy person. They're like, yo, something is really wrong with this girl. So, you would have thought I was on drugs or something, because it just wasn't normal. So one night I put on Mariah Carey, and I'm thinking that, it's a positive, uplifting song that, I'm going to be okay. And I'll be able to sleep, because I would literally feel them touching on me, grabbing on me every time I tried to sleep, and I couldn't sleep. So I was losing sleep, I was already not doing good at school. That was not because of the movie. I was already not doing good at school. So I was doing worse, because I wasn't getting no sleep. I was going in late. My mom was complaining. She was been tired of me, because I had already been stressing her out from middle school. This is me in high school now. So I remember I had the conversation with my aunt, because my mom made me move in with her for some time before I even seen this movie. And when I went back to my mom's house one day, she had a conversation. She said, you're really stressing your mom out. I don't think you understand how you're putting a strain on her relationship. You're giving problems to your stepdad. You're being a problematic child. Like, they're worried about you. And she said, is that who you want to be? Is that who you want to portray yourself as? Like, she said, you really acting like the devil. And I was like, I laughed at the comment, because I was like, at the time I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in the devil. I was being raised in a Haitian household, and Haitians are very religious people. So I thought it was a joke. I used to make fun of Benny Hinn. I used to make fun of the people that fall in church and like, yeah, okay. I didn't think that was real. I thought they was theatrics, which is what a normal American kid would think. So fast forward to me being tormented. I guess that was what was that saying where it said, now you know we're real, because there was me thinking there's no way demons are real. Like, I was watching these movies and I was like, these things aren't real. Like, it's scary, but it's not real. And it was. I found out that it was. That those demons were real. felt like 6 big men come and grab and pull me down, and they were like trying to pull me down to hell almost. That's what it felt like. And I woke up screaming, and no one could hear me in my house. I screamed, but no one woke up. My sister was in the same room. She didn't even hear the screams. So I was losing it. I was like, yo, no one can hear me when I'm screaming. No one's gonna believe any of the things that I'm saying. So then there was another night. I was trying to, like, if I'm falling asleep, because it's hard for me to sleep, because I know that I'm going to encounter these demons in my sleep. So I decided, one night when they were grabbing on me in my sleep and I was waking up screaming, I see that I was like under sleep paralysis. If you've ever had that, where you're up and you can't move, you're inside your body screaming, shaking, moving, trying to get up, and you can't. So that was happening. I was experiencing sleep paralysis, and I was yelling, screaming, and I heard in my spirit something said, God, or call on God. And then I said, God, if you're real, get me out of this situation. So while I'm screaming and nothing's happening, I finally was able to open my mouth and jump out of my bed and scream. And everyone in the house woke up, ran in the room, and they're like, yo, what is wrong with you? Like, my stepdaddy came with like his with like a bat or something he had in his hand. Like, he was getting ready to beat somebody up. They're like, yo, did somebody break in the house? Did somebody break in the house? Are you okay? Because we lived in that area. Like, house got broken in before, so it's not unusual for him to think that something happened like that. So when they realized nothing happened, and I was like, Mom, I gotta talk to you, I finally felt like, because she's the one that has always told me about God, I didn't believe. So when I said, God, if you're real, get me out of this situation, and I was able to scream and people were able to come, I said, okay, so God is real. I can talk to my mom about this. And when I told her, please don't put me on no prescription pills, please don't put me in a psych house, because what I'm saying sounds crazy. And I'm telling her how these demons are telling me of things about people, like, oh, like this girl had sex last night, or this girl, she just got in the locker room with this dude, telling me people's business that I didn't want to know. And I was seeing dark clouds over the school, stuff like that. And I told my mom, and she was like, look, read this passage. Everything you're experiencing, this passage is going to help you. So I read Psalm 91. And when I read Psalm 91, I was able to go to sleep in peace. And I didn't wake up, and nothing bothered me. I didn't see anything the next day. But what stayed the same was me being withdrawn, because I couldn't tell my friends what was going on. I felt like what was going on was weird, and they wouldn't understand. They wouldn't believe me, and they wouldn't be able to help me. I knew that everything my mom was teaching me, I was like, yo, everything my mom been trying to tell me about God is real. So at that time, I just stayed to myself. Like, my friends noticed I was withdrawn. They were making fun of me at the time. It was just like, girl, you changed, da 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 da. Like, why you acting like that? You don't even come around no more. And then they just started, they kind of flipped. And it was around that time my mom moved, and she was like, do you want to leave this school or you want to stay? And I was really, if she asked me that a year before, I would have said, hey, yeah, I want to stay, because I was supposed to graduate early. I was supposed to graduate high school early. I was in classes with people that were older than me. I was, doing all types of stuff. So, and they was like, no, you don't need to graduate. I said, I'm not graduating early. I'm staying with my friends. So she would have asked me this before. I would have said, of course not. I don't want to leave the school. But I ended up leaving because I knew that I didn't want to be there anymore. After seeing everything that I saw, those dark clouds, I said, there's something over this school that I don't want to be a part of. Around that time, they started bringing guns into the school. People weren't fighting anymore. They started using guns. They started gangbanging and stuff like that. And it was starting to get worse. Like, a lot of people were leaving the school. Even like some of the football players were leaving, trying to find a better school, because the scouts weren't coming out to that school anymore. Mind you, this school is broken down now. They broke that school down. They ended up rebuilding it and calling it something totally different, a different name, North Miami Senior High. It's across the street where the middle school was at. They pretty much broke down the whole area. But regardless, at that time, I didn't know that was all going to happen. I just knew that after seeing all those dark clouds, after seeing all those demons on people, behind people, starting things, I saw demons starting drama. I saw it was just, we were infested at that school. I said I didn't want to be there anymore. So I went with my mom and I moved to Miramar. And that is my testimony. My testimony is that I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe demons were real. I didn't believe in the devil. I used to make fun of people that go to Benny Hinn and that fall out in church. I didn't believe any of this stuff until I experienced it myself. And when I went to Tabernacle of Glory, which is where I went to tell my testimony, at that time, more came from my deliverance over there, because when all of this happened simultaneously, him moving down here from New York and having a bookstore, and then him becoming a pastor. So my mom was been going to his bookstore while I was acting up and going through all those things. And then when he became a pastor, we ended up switching churches. And so we were driving from Miramar still to make sure we go to that church, because we knew about Pastor Greg. Every Haitian really knows about Pastor Greg, and every Haitian definitely knows about him now. So we ended up going to that church, and we began a season of deliverance with his deliverance team, which was an unexpected thing, but it was a learning experience for them, for us. And for a long time, I hated that I went through that. For a long time, I hated my testimony because it caused so much trauma for me. I saw things that I didn't want to see. I didn't know how to express. To this day, there's things that I've seen that I can't tell people, you know, and I don't think it's ever for anyone to know. I know that there's a spiritual world, and it's more real than the real world. And I know that a lot of things are affected in this world based off what happens in the spirit. But my testimony is that God is real. Jesus is real. Jesus is the Son of God who came to earth to save us. And we couldn't be saved. We couldn't save ourselves. So he came down, and there's no other religion where the God comes and sacrifices himself for his people. Every religion demands worship, demands strictness. Follow these laws, follow these laws. But Christianity is the only religion where God came down to show his love. So much for his people that he died on a cross. He accepted a burden that wasn't his. There's no other religion that does that. No other religion where the God removes his crown so that his people can live as royalty. So there's so much more to my testimony that I do plan on sharing into, you know, there's so much more. I fell away from church. Like I got distant from church after losing my friends in the world, because I know they couldn't understand what I was going through. I started going to Tabernacle of Glory and went through my deliverance, and then I fell away, and then I ended up losing my Christian friends who they couldn't understand, you know, what I was going through. A lot of them, I never even told them my testimony. They heard it for the first time in 2021, I believe I did that testimony. So a lot of people didn't know what I had gone through. They just thought, you know, I was just a person in the church who trying to be a youth leader. They didn't realize that I was who I was and what I was going through. I didn't. Sometimes when you go through stuff, you just assume everybody knows. You assume everybody's gossiping about it, and they know, and they don't. They probably have no idea what you're going through. They have no idea what's happening in your life. Nobody knows how I was. Like, I had a few friends, and we did our thing together. But we, you know, after I left church, I stayed in contact with some people from North Miami, not a lot. And some of those people have died. They've passed on. Recently, I think Tank just died. He was on the football team. I used to be a in sports medicine, a trainer. So I used to be there. I wasn't great at it, but I did it. And so I knew a couple of the football players, and he was one of the nicest ones. And so I always say that you never know when it's your time to go, because he's pretty young. He has a family he's leaving a lot behind, a child he's leaving behind. My testimony is that God is real, the devil is real, and that if you're not following one path, you're following the other. There is no gray area or in between when it comes. It's raining. It's my wipers. There is no in between when it comes to the kingdom and your spirit and your soul. There is no, I'm just doing me. If you're doing you, you're doing the devil. If you're doing what you want to do, you're doing the devil's will. You're not. And he's going to leave you alone. He's going to let you think you're in control of everything in your life. But literally the plans that he has are to destroy you. So God is real. Jesus Christ is real. If you don't have a relationship with God, start one. So get right with God. There's nothing worth your salvation and your soul and being with God. The peace that I felt. I still remember feeling like I was losing my mind, going crazy. And my mom gave me Psalm 91, and I read that, and the peace I felt. I watched TBN after that. The peace I felt is the peace that I will never leave. Even when I left church and I stopped going to church, even when, I'm not the best person. I'm not a perfect person at all. So I'm in sin sometimes. I know who to run to. I know to go back to God. I'm working on me, of course. I'm growing still, because I came back in 2018, I want to say. I decided to get saved again. I decided that I should get rebaptized, because the way I was living when I left church at 19 to when I came back at 28, that whole gap, the way I was living, I wasn't living like a person who was dead to their flesh. I was living like a person who didn't know who God was. And I was still praying at that time. I was still dealing with stuff. I was dealing with people like warlocks who I came into encounter, and I knew they were warlocks, but it is what it is. When you out there in the world, you out there in the world. I tried to find different churches, but things kept happening to them, or I just didn't feel right going to them. Something didn't feel right, and I'm still in limbo. Like, I still feel like I don't have a church, and I still feel like now I'm going to go somewhere else. Like, I'm not going to be in Georgia for some time. I feel like that's what's next for me. So one day I know I'll find a church. One day I'll be back where I know I should be. But for now, we on YouTube. I still consider myself a prayer warrior, but I know God knows, God sees that I have a lot of work. And doing anything prematurely is sin, and it's against the will of God, and it has consequences, and it has a bad effect. Saul is who I think about whenever I'm ready to do something and God isn't ready. I know that it's just not that time. Timing is so much, it means so much to God, because yes, in the spirit things are happening before they happen in the natural, but in order for them to go out, there is an order of things that you have to follow. There's just an order of things you have to follow. God is a respecter of offices, authority, and things that people want to act like don't matter, they do. So I want to do things the right way, so I won't have to do them again, or so I could just make sure that I hear, well done, good and faithful servant. I'm grateful for the people that hold me accountable.